If you want to read for the collective consciousness with your tarot deck, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now in this video. Oh, if you want to upgrade all of your tarot skills, grab the Antojai Quantum Reiki Tarot. Links are going to be in the descriptions below. It's the last tarot you're ever going to need in your life. And you have to be really precise with your question if you want to read the collective. You can't just be like, what's happening in the collective right now? That's not going to give you a clear answer. What you have to ask is, what is the ascension process right now in the collective, or what is the next major hurdle that the collective has to transcend if they want to embody more of themselves? You have to be very specific with the question. So for right here, I'm going to ask, what is the next ascension step and what is the ascension process that we're going through? Now, notice that my question is a double-ended question. I'm asking two things that are part of a bigger picture, and you have to be careful with those types of questions. Those are more advanced because you have to account that it's going to be answering two different things to create a third picture. So make sure that you always shuffle your deck before you do anything else. I've already shuffled mine, and I just pulled off the top card, which was the Osiris card here upside down. So like this Osiris card is basically telling us we're going through a massive financial reset in some way, shape, or form. We already know this with Bitcoin and crypto and the economy right now in America, specifically if you live here. So this is basically giving us an indication that everything that we know when it comes to finances and our reality is being flipped on its head. So everything's being changed. That's the major ascension process that's going on right now. If you're into like the crypto world and stuff like that, you're witnessing that happen in real time. And notice, I just leave my deck down and I keep pulling until I end up getting more information. So the next thing that comes out is Atomus, rhythm. This is the next pattern of reality that must be embraced, okay? Then I keep pulling out. This one says, it's not going to lead to chaos, even though it does seem like there's a lot of chaos involved in this particular creation. It's not about, working from this place of fear and greed and needing to come out on top. It's more the fact of strategizing. Right now, this is a moment that the entire world needs to strategize where they want to be 5, 10 years from now. And this is pretty much what is kind of bringing up to us, because Adamans is about invincibility. When it comes up right side up, it's a lot about like service to self. When it comes upside down, it's basically saying the Antojai path, service to others. So in a way, this financial reset is supposed to be happening for the service of others. Even though it does seem like it's very complex, people are getting into meme coins, people are getting into different assets that are no longer bringing them money. This financial reset is part of a 100-year cycle of rhythm, right? Everything that goes up must come back down. That's part of the rhythm. We were not going to avoid this in any way, shape, or form. And even though it always seems chaotic every 100 years when the financial system changes, then, you just have to know that if you're willing to see the bigger picture and work with the greater collective, you will be able to come out on top. That's what happens every 100 years. Now, then what I like to do is I look at, okay, well, Osiris is the god of death, okay? And then we have like 3 particular cards of the void. The void itself, chaos being suppressed into Ma'at or into order, because the opposite of this card is Ma'at. Isfet and Ma'at are the same goddess, just different polarities of each other. So if Isfet is coming up upside down, that means justice is right side up in our equation. And then Adamans and Antojai are interconnected with each other. So if Adamans is coming up upside down, that means the Antojai frequencies are more in dominance right now, which would be service to others. Now here, because we have 3 void cards, the void is all about the unmanifested, things that have still yet to come, things that we're still kind of perceiving. So all this is pretty much telling us is about the financial reset. See, this is what's happening to the collective all around the world. Now, the second part of my question, I can feel that I want to start pulling for it. So this is like, what's the lesson right now that's going on? What's going to be happening with the ascension process? The next card that comes out here is basically telling me it's going to be like an infinite loop. It's going to be very deep. It's not going to be grounded. It's not going to seem solid for a lot of people, because people are awakening a little bit slower than they're supposed to be. And then if I compare these 2 cards, the Wheel of Fortune with Osiris and then Atabey with the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups is basically saying like there's not cooperation here, okay? Like there's this financial reset, and then a lot of people are being left out for one reason or another because it's not advantageous for the people who want to accumulate all the wealth. So then another card of Earth coming up upside down here, like Atabey is the goddess of Earth. Then we have Earth coming upside down, meaning that it's turning into air, okay? And that means there's a lot of thought, a lot of speculation. So then if I go ahead and I compare it with Adamus, both of these cards are elemental cards. Adamus is the void, and then when tarot comes upside down, it's the air. So a lot of thoughts in the air that are being generated from the void, but also being given to the void in hopes that chaos will not ensue. Pulling out another card, we have the energy of water, which is the energy of flow. We're going to flow out of chaos. There may be a little bit of chaos, but the chaos is not going to consume us. Then I pull out another card. We have another void card, Chin, which this is all about pleasure. So if I go ahead and compare Chin with Adamance, is basically telling us if you really want to have the life that you're looking for in 5-10 years time, you have to apply yourself in thinking what's going to bring you the most amount of pleasure. This is a moment right now where even when I've read for different people across the last like 2 or 3 weeks, Chin pops up with every reading, and Chin is telling everyone the same exact message. Find something that gives you pleasure, go after that thing, and just completely immerse yourself into it so you can come out on top. Now, this is really powerful energy because it's also insinuating that you have to do the work to have the ascension. Like a lot of times people think ascension is going to happen just to them and they don't have to do anything for it. This is not what it's telling you whatsoever. It's telling you you need to be attentive. The world is changing and there are people who want you to be out of the loop. There are people who do not want you to know what the rhythm is. There are people who do not want you to be in flow with order. They want you to be in flow with chaos. And because of that, they're hoping that you won't pursue your pleasure. You won't think outside of the box so that you can empower yourself and empower other people. So then I feel like pulling out one more card. This is the Ace of Voids. When I pull up the Ace of Voids upside down, it's pretty much just reminding me again, like there's manipulation being done in the world, right? Void, 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 void. All the void cards can be taken as a little bit of a negative, not entirely as a negative, but they are part of like questionable energies, right? So with all the void cards, I see that there's manipulation. This is telling me there's a lot of manipulation in the collective consciousness when it comes to the great financial reset. So then if I go ahead and I flip it over because I'm being told to flip it over, I'm also being told to pull out this top card right here. When I flip it over, another void card coming up, and that void card is the Grand Naga upside down. So when the Grand Naga comes upright, it's masculine. When it's upside down, it's feminine. The upright is saying that you're claiming a lot of power moving forward through reality. Upside down is saying that there's a witness of power, but there must be action that is taken. So here we start seeing kind of like this imbalance. So many void cards basically indicating global manipulation. And then when I pull out the final card that was at the very top, it's the Six of Swords, which comes up upside down, which basically means that a lot of people are going to be left in the dust. They're not going to find success. The new financial order is here. The new world order is here. Regardless of whether or not you want to participate with it or not, you're still going to get affected by it. We're restructuring a financial system that's going to take us into the next 100 years. So all these cards are telling you that if you're not paying attention to what's actually happening, you're going to be part of the people that when you are finally aware of what's happening, you're already out of the loop. You can't catch up, you can't get a break or anything. This is the moment right now to really get into understanding how cryptocurrencies work, how financial assets work. This is a moment right now in time for great abundance, the greatest abundance you'll be able to pull out in your lifetime, not just for yourself, but for your family as well. And this is just a collective reading, right? I asked the question, I got clear on the question. I knew that I was asking two parts. So part one was down here, part two was right here. And I did the middle section right here, which tells me the blend of what's happening with both of these ecosystems. And that's how you end up reading for the collective consciousness. You need to practice a little bit with your questions. Your questions are always going to be a lot more valuable if they're precise and clear. But, the more you practice, the more eventually you'll end up seeing all these generic patterns. And then you'll start doing things that I do where I start seeing chin and adamants in every reading, etc., which then shows you how much more aligned you are, especially when you're diving into other clients. Main thing about this technique is not to depend on it all the time. I do it probably once a month, or if I feel like something major danger is happening in the world, then I want to go ahead and check in. If you become codependent to this technique, you are never going to live your life autonomously in the free will that spirit wants you to. Try it today and let me know if you got the same exact answers that I got or it was a little bit different. I would love to hear. Subscribe. Antojai.